What's good? What's good, everybody? Welcome back to another episode of The Urban Platform Speaks. Make sure to like and subscribe as you tune into the channel, check out the content. And with that being said, man, I want to speak on everybody right now is focused on what team LeBron James is going to go to. Is he going to sign with Cleveland? Is it going to be Miami, Philly? And so that's the main story, right? But I think the fact that LeBron James is holding up this or prolonging this cycle is because LeBron James and Clutch, they're kind of scrambling to see like what is going to be their next move. Not just what's going to be their next move as far as the team that they're going to choose, but what's going to be their next move for LeBron post retirement. Because everybody within LeBron James camp and his circle understands that their leverage comes from the fact that LeBron James is a part of the NBA, right? And because of the way that they have managed their situation while they were in the NBA, it put them in a predicament where they are more like where they have to stay a part of the media cycle and to stay relevant in order for them to to seem like they have some type of control. When I've been saying the whole time, right, that if LeBron James wanted to be relevant after his career, then he had to put in the work that was needed during his career. And I always point to the greats in any sport where you talk about Michael Jordan, uh, Tom Brady, Ray Lewis, or Kobe Bryant, um, any of those great athletes, right? What they did was they put the work in on the court and on the field, and they just developed such a following and a fan base that that they will be beloved forever because those fans just feel a connection to them. But LeBron James did not. He was thinking about in the moment. His group was thinking about in the moment and at that time, and they didn't think about like what was to come when he come close to retirement like he is now, or when he is after retirement. Like LeBron James right now should be in a part in a at a point in his career where his fans are just kind of like his retirement is bittersweet, right? They want to send him off the right way, so that's the sweet part about it. But the bitter part is like they don't want to see him go. But it's not like that with LeBron James, whereas though people didn't want to see Mike leave. They didn't want to see Kobe leave. People didn't want to see Larry Bird leave. They were like, but they wanted to send those guys off in the right way. But it's not like LeBron James, man. Everybody is a lot of people have LeBron fatigue, right? And so LeBron James, they missed that boat as far as being able to build that to build their fan base like that and have the fans feel the way about LeBron that they feel about all the other past stars. Like they messed that up, right? And so I was speaking to a guy who he's a small time agent, right? Compared to like what Rich Paul and them is. And he has one or two clients in the NBA. And so we got to talking about the situation. And this is basically, what he was saying. He was like, all right, Rich Rich Paul, in his opinion, and not just his opinion, but a lot of sports agents will tell you that Rich Paul more so focused on LeBron James, and that crippled LeBron James' global equity by what they did. It crippled their equity by more so focusing on the the leverage that they had, right? The whole time they had leverage and power, they exercised that leverage and power. Whereas though they should have been building relationships, right? Relationships that would serve them better after LeBron James retired. And it's not that I knew that, but I was looking at it from a fan standpoint, right? And I'm thinking like as a fan, also, you build that relationship and you build that foundation so you can always tap back into that. But even from a business standpoint, like you like LeBron James needed to have good relationships with general managers. anybody in the business world that he can team up with after he left the NBA. And they didn't do that. Like some people around the NBA are just waiting for the chance or looking or can't wait for LeBron James to lead the league because they know that LeBron James's leverage and his power is because he's a part of the league. And once he's no longer part of the league, then that will give whoever he tried to do business with the upper hand in dealing with LeBron James, right? And so, and it's showing already. Like LeBron James right now, at one point in time, what LeBron James was asking for like $50 million to, from the Lakers, and the Lakers didn't give it to him. They was like, "We're not giving it to you." So now he's to a point where he's telling people he's almost begging for a job. He's telling people that he'll take league minimum, right? So he's looking at it going from like 50 something $million to making like $6 million. They say for him, league minimum probably be about around $6 million. So he's looking from going to 50 million to 6 million. But that's because he didn't play his cards right early in the game. And now he found himself in this position. Remember, Michael Jordan last 2 years in the league, each one of those years in the league, Michael Jordan got 30 plus $1 million. Whereas though LeBron James now is looking at, he was making all the money up front. And now coming down now he's got to take a pay cut where Mike did it the right way. He started to level up as it was time for him to leave the league. And he also built a relationship with his fans, right? And so, but LeBron James don't have that type of fan base that Mike have. He don't have the type of fan base that somebody like like Peyton Manning. Like Peyton Manning is somebody who is just very, very marketable, right? But LeBron James not so much. LeBron James is more so polarizing than he is marketing. So let me read this statement right here. Now this says that LeBron James is the most powerful athlete on earth, yet his global brand is currently bleeding value. While Rich Paul's clutch strategy was designed to protect the king, its aggressive installation actually backfired by alienating every institutional partner needed for true prestige, right? We traded universal icon status for inner circle loyalty, and we cost LeBron's global equity. And that, that like that's the same, not just what I'm talking about from a fan base, then domestically, but globally too. Like so he really globally he's taking a hit too. Let me read another statement right here about somebody else. It says, this is a question actually. It says, what happens when you weaponize leverage against the world's most powerful front offices? You turn a generational icon into a polarizing liability by prioritizing short-term power plays over elite branding. Think about that. Short-term power plays over elite branding, right? And I'm not even a agent, and I just knew that some of these moves that they were making in the long run just would not pay off. Let me see. The Rich Paul strategy failed to maintain prestige required for a king. And I also said the same thing about the way that Rich Paul represented LeBron James. Like you think about it, Rich Paul is somebody who used to sell T-shirts out of a trunk, right? And that's cool. Ain't nothing wrong with that if that's how you got your start. But you can't manage LeBron James, somebody who's worth $1.5 billion, like you still selling T-shirts out of a trunk. You got to level your game up because you're dealing with people who just have deep, deep pockets, and you can't really operate like that, right? And so let me see. This is how the clutch era accidentally crippled LeBron James' long-term marketability on a world stage, right? And so this is what professionals are saying about LeBron James and the way that clutch really they really dropped the ball when it came to managing LeBron James. And they left so much money on the table. They thought by getting LeBron James all his money up front that was the way to do, business, exercising power and leverage every time you had it, like, so if you had a team in a position where, LeBron James had to take or had to get that big contract, that max contract, you made sure he got that max contract all every time. Whereas though sometimes as a business person, you got to get your money on the back end and build um build like good relationships basically with people. And not when you do business with people, you don't want them to have a sour taste in their mouth when they do business with you, because later on, like the tables are going to turn. And that's what we're going to see with LeBron James. Like I said, going into this next chapter, you're going to see the tables turn, whereas though teams, general managers, business people just going to be looking for some get back. And you don't have to be a rocket scientist to predict this. You can just look at the history of basketball and how athletes like Tom Brady, Michael Jordan, how they operate, and see that LeBron James, man, he just did it in a way where he just alienated himself. Rich Paul didn't know what he was doing, didn't have any foresight, and now they put LeBron James in a situation where he got to take league. He's going to probably have to take league minimum to go play for somebody, and that's crazy. When he should be going out like Mike did, with those big paychecks. So that's my take on it. Make sure to like and subscribe. Also, don't forget to leave a comment. And with that being said, I'm going to check you all out in the next video.